Oh, hi. Sorry, I was just recording some footage for the Sonic Origins Plus video that is out right now. Link in the description for if you're interested in watching that. You might like it. Um, Sonic Frontiers just got a new update celebrating Sonic's birthday. It's the same caliber as Update 1, but there's some more special stuff in it. Um, Let me finish up here and then we'll dive right into it. Alright, so this update changes the look of the game to fit the fact that it's Sonic's birthday. The update also adds new special Coco to find, hidden at the end of these new obstacle courses that have been added, action chain challenge signs that, once activated with the Psy Loop, require you to get as many points as possible by doing cool tricks, boosting, and collecting rings within the time limit. There's now some new songs to collect, and a new game plus for those who want to restart the adventure with all their unlocked abilities. I feel like I'm forgetting something though, like the big talking point that's everyone talked about on Twitter and other social medias when the update came out. It'll come to me later on when I'm further down the script. Anyway, so the new Coco are hidden across the map at the end of these obstacle courses, which are marked on the map until you collect the Coco. These can be difficult, but aren't that hard if you're good with movement or are just the luckiest motherfucker on the planet. When you give these new Coco to the Elder Coco, you can get an upgrade to your boost gauge, meaning you can boost farther. This is the first time I've ever actually felt like something was ripped right from Breath of the Wild, but it's so minor I don't think it's really a problem. The action chain challenge, as described before, is about how many cool actions you can perform in a set amount of time. It's easiest to get an S rank with these on easy, but you get the most points by going around the obstacle courses strewn about the place and by defeating enemies, especially if you have the max multiplier, which is increased by these yellow orbs strewn all over the place. When you complete all of the action chain challenges across all of the islands with an S rank, you get the Oh, that's what I was forgetting, the spin dash! When you complete all the action chain challenges, you unlock the spin dash, which, as everyone figured out on Twitter, was broken as hell due to the game not being built around this ability. Using it is like a less sticky boost. Using the standard boost while going over a hill, you will stick to the ground, but spin dash over it and you will launch off it and go flying, which is insane due to how much height you get. Though it turns out you can't use this in Chaos to get up the icy mountain. That's reserved for the drop dash. New Game Plus doesn't really need any explaining. You see all these abilities I have on my main file? I can transfer these to a new game and get an even harder experience than when I first played the game. Now that I've addressed pretty much everything, here are my opinions. The action chain challenge isn't that difficult as long as it's chaos, because Jesus, there are so many obstacle courses. It's like it was built for this challenge. Though it's possible on other islands if you route it out right. The spin dash is pretty good, no real complaints, and it will be useful for speedrunning New Game Plus. Just as a side note, the way the spin dash works reminds me of Sonic Speed Simulator from Roblox with how its speed and spin dash worked. When you were higher levels in Sonic Speed Simulator, you would go flying if you bumped a rock, and could jump the height of skyscrapers. It was ridiculous. Though, I've saved the worst for last. Yes, I have a problem with this update, but it's not really anything with the quality. I can't complain about that. What I can complain about is the difficulty of the new Coco courses. To sum up the difficulty curve, they don't scale at all with the rest of the game. It's random how difficult these courses are. Cronus's courses are fairly easy with some difficulty, though there are two outliers: the Tower of Collecting and the Wall Climber. These are just names I came up with. I don't know the official names. Let's talk about the first one, the Tower. The Tower isn't all that bad when you first start. It's what's really at the end that will get your blood boiling. So you land on this tower, you have to press buttons to morph the tower to make it easier to get up, while collecting 10 rings to make it possible to push the next button to morph the tower even more. The last button at the top of the tower spawns 4 rings with one of them seemingly missing. Turns out after closer inspection it is there, but it's in a spot that requires a trick jump to get up to. It's not that bad if you're good with movement. It'll only take a few tries, as all you're really doing is abusing the newly added momentum to launch yourself at ludicrous speed, going plaid to snag the edge of this wall. There you climb up, get the last 10 ring, head down to the bottom of the tower and collect the new Coco. However, the harder of the two, and admittedly probably the hardest one, the wall climber, was so hard I had to cheese it. You're supposed to climb these walls to get to this launch ring, which will take you to the new Coco. And while 75% of this is easily possible, it's when you get to this part with these damn spike balls that make it actually impossible to do it legitimately. If you're too slow, you get hit by the spike balls. If you're too fast, you run into the spike balls. And it doesn't help that the directions flip whichever way they feel like, depending on where the camera is positioned, as I ended up either falling off the walls because I tried to go left but went down, or I go up instead of going down. I ended up using my momentum to jump off this rail to get to this higher section, climbed up on top of the wall, shimmied my way across it, through the spike balls section, into the launch ring, finishing the damn course and getting my new Coco. From there, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, through Aries and most of Chaos, until this course. It's more spike balls. This time, it's depth perception and a camera that refuses to move that causes this to be way harder than it really should be. I get that later islands aren't supposed to be easy, but these were so easy they're almost beginner, especially this one. You'd expect this to be hard, but no. Somehow jumping around laser walls seems to be easier than telling where exactly the spike ball is in relation to Sonic, because there's no way I can tell without just guessing. It's almost like the developers went, wait shit, this is supposed to be difficult, and accidentally made it too difficult. I couldn't see that the beginning spike balls were actually above me and kept jumping into them thinking that they were just really big. After some more platforming, you have this sign that you have to activate with a Psy-loop while avoiding these spike balls, which was a pain, but not nearly as bad as the next section after this bridge. Walls of spike balls spinning at the exact rate that will make it impossible to recover if you dare take damage. I'm not kidding. When you finally get the rhythm down and activate these buttons, which makes it 10 times easier just to continue on without having to really think about this. Landing on this platform to continue the course is impossible to do if you don't jump at the right time, as you have a small time frame to actually commit to a jump before it's guaranteed you have back problems later. Another stressful side loop and bridge crossing later, we're finally done and can have our damn new Coco. After that, Ornos is a cakewalk, and now I'm questioning myself, why? There are 3 new Coco courses out of the many in the game that are way too hard for the respective areas. 2 of them were in Kronos, the beginning island, and while the tower wasn't that hard, the final jump really pissed me off. The wall climber didn't do itself any favors by adding spike balls to the equation, and spike ball glory made me wish the Switch didn't suck donkey dick when it came to graphics, and also had glasses-free 3D like the 3DS. I literally could not tell depth. To quote the nerd, what were they thinking? I mean, I guess this is a bit harder than this, but if they did intend to scale the difficulty with each island, they messed it up so bad, I could have sworn Oranos was easier than Kronos. It could have been a case that they weren't really testing these until the end, looked back and saw that the courses were too easy, whipped up 3 really difficult courses, and forgot to exchange 3 of Oranos's with these overly difficult ones. Or it could have been a case that they were trying to make them more fun than difficult. Their boss came in and didn't like how easy they were, and they were tasked with making them even harder with no indication on which ones the boss meant. So they just threw a dart on the board and got 2 Kronos and 1 Chaos. Either way, these 3 courses specifically weren't fun, and I don't think I'm alone on that. Overall, Sonic Frontiers' second update was pretty good, even with its really nasty hiccups and difficulty with the new courses, but ignoring the faults, finding the new Coco was legitimately fun, and the Action Chain Challenge is a pretty good test to see how well you can route a pass to get as many points as possible. The new songs are cool, even if they aren't the main focus of the update. New Game Plus is a cool thing to try out if you're bored, and the Spin Dash really breaks the game in a fun way. So yeah, good update, but please try not to make stupidly hard courses and put them in the middle of really easy courses again. It just ruins the fun of everything. Anyway, can somebody help me get this thing off my hand?